Will you give me a chance? I hope that doesn't sound too forward. My future wife, are you watching this video? I'm saying it softly because I don't want to startle you, but I also don't want to pretend I'm not looking for you. And I know calling you future wife might sound bold, maybe even a little ridiculous. I get it. I don't know your name. I don't know your face. I don't know what city you're in right now or what kind of day you've had, but I have this feeling that somewhere out there, there's a woman who's been strong for a long time. A woman who has learned how to smile politely while she's tired. A woman who has been the steady one, the one people lean on, the one who doesn't always get leaned on back. And I think you might be watching this with your shoulders slightly tense, like you're bracing for a pitch or a promise that turns into pressure, or a man trying to talk you into something. So, let me say it gently. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm not here to rush you. I'm not here to pick you like you're a prize. I'm here because I miss something I can't fully explain, something quiet, something human. I miss the feeling of coming home and not having to perform. I miss the ease of a woman who doesn't compete with life. She just softens it a little by being there. And I know you might be thinking, why would someone like you be talking to someone like me? I hear that thought. I do because women like you have been taught to shrink, to apologize for wanting tenderness, to act like you're fine with being overlooked, to treat your loneliness like it's something embarrassing. But I don't see it that way. I think there's something brave about you, not the loud kind, the brave that keeps going, the brave that still believes in kindness even after life gave you reasons not to. Can I tell you something? I've been holding inside. I'm tired of the noise. I'm tired of relationships that feel like negotiations. Tired of being around people who only know how to take. Tired of the world acting like love has an expiration date. And I don't know if this makes sense, but when I imagine you, I don't imagine perfection. I imagine a simple morning, a quiet kitchen, 2 cups on the counter. Maybe you're not even talking yet. Maybe you're just there. And somehow that there feels like everything. I think God has a gentle way of keeping people alive inside themselves. Not with fireworks, with small mercies, with ordinary mornings, with the kind of love that doesn't demand a performance. So, if you're watching this and your heart is doing that small, careful thing, that little flutter that says maybe, you don't have to answer out loud. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to be brave for me. Just stay with me for a moment. And if it feels safe, if it feels simple, maybe leave me the smallest sign in the comments. Just something like, I'm here. No story, no pressure, just a quiet hello because I'm here too. And I'm trying to say this in a way that won't hurt you. So, my future wife, are you watching this video? If you left me that quiet little I'm here, I felt it. And even if you didn't, even if you just kept watching in silence, I still feel like you're here with me. My future wife, are you watching this video? I'm asking again not to pressure you, but because I want you to feel seen because I think the world has a habit of looking past a woman like you. Not in a cruel, dramatic way, in that everyday way that's almost worse. They look right through you at the grocery store. They speak over you at a table. They ask you what you do, but they never ask how you're doing. They praise you for being so strong, and then they walk away and leave you to carry everything alone. And I don't know if this is okay to say, but I'm not impressed by loud people. I'm moved by women who have survived quietly. I think you've lived through chapters you didn't deserve. Maybe you've been a wife before. Maybe you've been someone's almost this. Maybe you've been the woman who held a family together with tired hands and a polite smile. Maybe you've loved someone who didn't know how to hold you gently. Or you lost someone you still talk to in your head sometimes. Or you stayed strong so long you forgot what it feels like to be cared for. Let me say it softly. None of that makes you too much. None of that makes you too old. None of that makes you less worthy of being loved the right way. Sometimes I imagine you at night, not in a fantasy way, in a real way. Maybe you're sitting on the edge of the bed, shoes off finally. Maybe you're scrolling because the house is quiet and you don't want to feel it. Maybe you're tired in your bones, the kind of tired sleep doesn't fix. And maybe you're wondering, would anyone choose me now? I won't say choose. I'll say this instead. I see you. I feel the weight you've been carrying, and I feel honestly a kind of reverence for it. Can I tell you something? I've been holding inside. The way you carry your years, it's beautiful, not because it's perfect, but because it's honest. The little lines near your eyes, they look like proof that you kept showing up. The softness in your voice, it sounds like someone who learned to be gentle even after life tried to harden you. And I think God notices that kind of woman, the one who keeps giving anyway, the one who keeps loving anyway. I thank God for the quiet ways He kept you even when you felt invisible. You don't have to impress me. You don't have to stay young. You don't have to compete with anyone. I'm not looking for a highlight reel. I'm looking for a place to rest my heart next to someone who understands what real life costs. S. Oh, if you've ever felt replaced or overlooked or like time is stealing your chance, please hear me. Time doesn't make you less lovable. It makes you more real. And real is what I trust. You don't have to answer, just hear me. If you're my future wife watching this video, I'm not asking you to be fearless. I'm just asking you to be here. Even if it's with a cautious heart, even if it's one small breath at a time. And if you feel safe, tell me one word in the comments. Just one tired hope. Still here? Anything. Because I want to understand you gently. And there's something else I need you to know. Something important. Not about what I want from you, but about what I'm not asking you to be. Let me say this gently. I'm not asking you to save me. I think a lot of women, especially women who've lived a lot of life, get handed that role without anyone even asking. Be the fixer, be the nurse, be the emotional translator, be the one who understands him while he stays complicated and distant. And I don't want that for you. My future wife, are you watching this video? If you are, I want you to hear this clearly but softly. You do not have to prove your worth to me. Not with your body, not with your patience, not with how much you can tolerate, not with how much you can carry without complaining. You don't have to be endlessly positive. You don't have to be easy. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for a woman who never needs anything. I'm looking for a woman who feels safe enough to need what she needs. And I know that might sound simple, but it's rare because a lot of people confuse love with performance. They want the version of you that's always pleasant, always agreeable, always calm, even when you're hurting. And if you ever learn to survive by being low maintenance, I just want to hold that part of you gently and say, you're allowed to take up space with me. Why? Or allowed to have moods. You're allowed to have quiet days. You're allowed to say, not tonight. You're allowed to say, I'm overwhelmed. You're allowed to say, I need reassurance. I won't call that too much. I'll call that human. Can I tell you something? I think the right kind of love feels like relief. Not fireworks, not drama, not that anxious guessing game. Relief. The kind of relief you feel when you don't have to watch your words so carefully, when you don't have to compete with someone's phone, when you don't have to beg to be treated gently. I'm not asking you to be my entertainment. I'm not asking you to be my trophy. I'm not asking you to be my therapist. I'm asking for something quieter than that. I'm asking for partnership that sounds like, come here, you've had a long day and it means it no strings, and I want you to know something else. I'm not coming into your life to take over and maiden. I'm not the man who says I'll lead you, follow. I don't want to lead you. I want to walk beside you, match your pace, respect your life, understand your history without making you relive it because you've already done enough surviving. And I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm drawn to the kind of woman who's learned to be gentle without becoming weak. A woman who can sit in silence without feeling like she has to fill it. A woman who doesn't need constant excitement. She just needs something true. Maybe you've been in love before and it turned into a job. Maybe you were loyal to someone who treated you like an option. Maybe you were faithful and they still left. If that's you, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying it because I mean it. And I'm saying it because I want you to hear a different sentence this time. With me, love won't be a test you keep failing. I won't punish you for your past. I won't compare you to anyone younger. I won. Make you compete with my attention. And I know you might not believe a man who says that. I understand that trust isn't a switch, it's a slow opening. So I'm not asking you to trust me instantly. I'm asking you to notice how your body feels while you listen. If your shoulders drop even a little, if your breathing softens, if something in you whispers, this feels calmer, that matters. I think God sometimes guides us with peace, not certainty, not loud signs, just peace. So here's what I'm not asking you to be. You don't have to be the cool girl. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. You don't have to be endlessly forgiving. You don't have to stay in a place that hurts just to be loved. I would rather have your honesty than your compliance. And if you're still here with me, my future wife, I want to tell you what I'm hoping for. Not a fantasy, just a life that feels quietly good. I think what I'm hoping for is simple, not easy, simple. My future wife, are you watching this video? If you are, I want to paint it gently so it doesn't feel like a promise. Just a picture, a quiet possibility. I'm not dreaming about grand gestures. I'm not imagining some perfect romance that never gets messy. I'm imagining ordinary moments done with care. A morning where we don't rush each other, where you don't have to wake up and immediately earn your place in the world. Maybe you're still in your robe. Maybe your hair is doing its own thing. Maybe you're not ready yet. And I look at you and I don't think fix it. I think there you are. I imagine coffee in the kitchen, not the fancy kind, just warm. I imagine you telling me something small like I slept weird or my knees are complaining today or I dreamed something strange. And instead of making it about me, I just listen because I want to be the kind of man who makes room for your real life. The real you, not the polished. Can I say something I've been holding inside? I want to be the safest place in your day. Not your savior, not your boss, not your project, just a place your heart can rest. I think love should feel like taking your shoes off at the end of a long day. That kind of relief, that kind of exhale. And yes, I want romance, but not the kind that asks you to pretend. I want the romance that happens when I notice the little things like the way you reach for a glass without thinking, the way you fold a towel, the way you pause before you speak because you're trying to be kind. Those things, they move me because they tell me who you are when no one's clapping. Sometimes I imagine evenings to you coming home tired, or me coming home tired, and instead of turning it into a mood, we turn it into a moment. Maybe we eat something simple. Maybe we don't even talk much at first. Maybe we sit on the couch and let the day leave our bodies slowly, and I reach for your hand like it's a habit, not a demand, a habit. And you don't flinch. That's the dream, I guess. Not excitement, safety, not constant passion, steady warmth. And I don't know if this makes sense, but I want to be close in a way that doesn't consume you. I want you to still be yourself, to still have your friends, your rhythms, your mornings that belong to you. I'm not trying to become your whole world. I'm trying to be a good part of it, a peaceful part. There's a kind of partnership I admire. Two people who've both been through enough to stop pretending. They don't play games. They don't punish each other with silence. They don't use love as leverage. They just choose kindness again and again. And I think God smiles at that kind of love, not the flashy kind, the faithful kind, the love that shows up when no one's watching. I thank God for the quiet blessings, for the unseen mercies, for the way a good woman can bring a room back to life just by being in it. So, if you're my future wife watching this, I'm not asking you to be a fantasy. I'm asking you to be a companion, a teammate in the quiet, a hand to hold when the world gets heavy. And I want to be that for you too. You don't have to answer. Just hear me. If you've been craving a love that feels like peace, if you've been asking God for something gentle, if you've been telling yourself it's too late, I want to tell you something. It's not too late for a soft life. But I also need to be honest about something else. Because part of me is a little afraid, not of love, of hurting you by accident, or being misunderstood, or becoming one more disappointment in your story. And I don't want that. I don't want to become one more disappointment in your story. And I know that fear might sound strange coming from a man talking like this, but it's real for me because when you've been through enough, you start realizing how easy it is to hurt someone without meaning to. Not with cruelty, with carelessness, with ego, with not listening deeply enough. And you deserve someone who listens. My future wife, are you watching this video? If you are, let me say what I'm actually afraid of. I'm afraid you'll think I'm here to take something from you. Your time, your tenderness, your quiet. I'm afraid you'll feel like you have to be on, like you have to be cheerful or impressive or endlessly patient. And I don't want that. I want you the way you are when no one's asking you for anything. Can I say something I've been holding inside? I'm not scared of your history. I'm not scared of the fact that you've loved before, or that you've been hurt, or that you have days where you don't feel like talking. I'm scared of the part of you that might believe you're too late. Because I think that's the lie that takes the most from women like you. It whispers, you had your chance. Your best years are behind you. Someone will always choose younger. Don't ask for too much. And I hate that lie. Not in a loud way, in a quiet, protective way, because I don't see too late when I think of you. I see depth. I see someone who knows what matters now. I see a woman who doesn't want games, she wants peace, and I want to be gentle with that. There's another fear I need to name softly. I'm afraid you'll mistake my intensity for pressure, because when I say future wife, I'm not trying to trap you in a label, I'm trying to give my hope a shape, but I don't want my hope to feel heavy on your chest. So hear me, please. You don't have to decide anything today. You don't have to promise anything. You don't have to prove that you're ready. If all you can do right now is listen, that's enough. I think love should arrive like a warm blanket, not like a contract. And if you've been the kind of woman who's always carried other people, it might feel unfamiliar to have someone say, I want to carry you too. Not in a controlling way, in a faithful way, in the way that says, if you're tired, lean. There's if you're scared, take my hand. If you're unsure, we go slow. I don't know if this makes sense, but I want to be the man who doesn't rush your nervous system. The man who doesn't make you question your value. The man who doesn't punish you for needing reassurance, because I know what it's like to pretend you're okay. And I also know what it's like to have someone look at you gently and say, you don't have to be strong right now. I think that kind of love is a quiet blessing. And I thank God for the kind of grace that teaches people to soften again, even after disappointment, even after loss. So if you're listening and you feel cautious, good. That means you're wise. All I'm asking is this: don't abandon your own heart. If your heart is saying maybe, but I'm scared, then let maybe be enough for today. And if it feels safe, tell me something small in the comments. Not your whole story. Just one sentence. I want peace, or I'm learning to trust. Or even I'm still afraid. I won't rush you. I'll just understand you. Because there's one last thing I want to offer you. Not a promise, not a vow, just a quiet vision of what it could feel like if we stayed close. Not a promise, not a vow, just a quiet vision. My future wife, are you watching this video? If you are, I want to end the way I began, softly, without grabbing you. I'm not asking you to fall into my life like a dramatic scene. I'm asking you to imagine something gentler than that. Imagine a year from now, not a perfect year, a real one. A year with ordinary problems, bills, weather, a bad night of sleep, a heavy news day, a sore back, a quiet sadness that shows up for no obvious reason. And in the middle of all that, we still feel safe. We still speak kindly. We still reach for each other's hand like it's natural, not like it's work. We don't keep score. We don't weaponize silence. We don't punish each other for being human. We repair softly.